Have you ever walked into a senior's home and wondered how they keep everything so perfectly organized, even though they never seem to be frantically cleaning? I'm talking about those homes where you can actually see the countertops. Where there's not a single pile of "I'll deal with this later" stuff anywhere. Where every drawer you open, if you're brave enough to peek, is neat and purposeful. Here's what most people think: oh, they must have expensive storage solutions. Wrong. They probably hire professional organizers. Nope. They spend entire weekends decluttering like the rest of us. Not even close. The truth is far more shocking. These seniors use 9 ruthless secrets that most people never notice. And I mean ruthless. These aren't gentle suggestions or feel-good organizing tips. These are brutal truths that will change how you see your possessions forever. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever spent an entire weekend decluttering, only to have chaos return by Tuesday? Have you ever felt exhausted just looking at the mess in your own home? Have you ever started organizing one room, only to give up halfway through because it felt impossible? If you're nodding your head, then you're exactly where I was 3 years ago. Standing in my living room, surrounded by stuff I couldn't remember buying, feeling like I was drowning in my own belongings. That's when my 78-year-old neighbor, Mrs. Chen, changed everything for me. She walked into my chaos, and I mean chaos, looked around for exactly 30 seconds, and said something that still gives me chills. "Honey, you're not disorganized. You're just too kind to your stuff." Over the next 48 hours, she taught me these 9 ruthless secrets. And I'm not exaggerating when I say they transformed my home and my life. In just 2 days, I went from overwhelmed to in control. From exhausted to energized. From avoiding my own home to actually loving it. In the next 25 minutes, I'll share these exact secrets with you. And secret number 9 will shock you because it goes against everything you've been taught about decluttering. It's the one that made me cry. Not from sadness, but from relief. But here's the thing, if you're looking for gentle, hand-holding advice, this isn't for you. These secrets require courage. They require you to be honest about what your stuff is really doing to your life. They require you to stop negotiating with objects and start choosing freedom. So if you're ready to transform your chaotic home in just 48 hours, stay with me. And please, hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to share will challenge everything you think you know about decluttering. Secret 1. The 5-second rule. Let's start with the most ruthless secret of all. The one that Mrs. Chen taught me first because, in her words, if you can't do this, you can't do any of them. Secret number 1. If you can't decide whether to keep something in 5 seconds, it goes. 5 seconds. Not 5 minutes. Not, let me think about it overnight. 5 seconds. Here's why this is so ruthless and why it works. Seniors understand something that took me years to learn. Hesitation equals attachment to clutter. Your first instinct about an item is usually correct. That split-second feeling when you pick something up? That's your truth talking. Everything after that is just your fear arguing. When you hold an item and immediately think, "I love this," or "I use this weekly," that's a keeper. When you hold something and think, "Well, I might need this someday," or "But what if?" that's clutter talking, and it needs to go. Mrs. Chen proved this to me in my own kitchen. She handed me a garlic press I'd used exactly once in 3 years. "Keep or go?" she asked. I started with, "Well, I might make more garlic-heavy dishes and..." She cut me off. "Time's up." 5 seconds passed. It goes. And you know what? I've never missed that garlic press. Not once. But I use the drawer space it freed up every single day. Here's how to apply this ruthlessly. Walk through each room with a donation bag. Pick up each questionable item and count out loud, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you haven't confidently decided to keep it by 5, it goes in the bag. No exceptions. No maybe pile. No, I'll decide later. The first time you do this, it will feel terrifying. You'll want to cheat. You'll want to give yourself more time. Don't. The magic happens when you stop negotiating with every object in your home. I remember the first closet I tackled with this rule. I had shirts I hadn't worn in 2 years but kept thinking, what if I lose weight? Or, what if this style comes back? Using the 5-second rule, I filled 4 donation bags in 1 hour. 4 bags from 1 closet. But here's the emotional benefit that no one tells you about. When you stop negotiating with every object, you'll feel a weight lift off your shoulders. Your mind becomes as clear as your space. You'll walk through your home and actually see your furniture instead of just seeing stuff. Secret 2. The replacement rule. Secret number 2 is what prevents you from ever getting back to chaos again. And seniors are absolutely ruthless about this one. The replacement rule. For every new item that enters your home, 2 old items must leave. Not 1 item. 2 items. And here's why this is so brutal and so necessary. Most people think the problem is that they're bad at organizing. Wrong. The problem is that stuff keeps coming in faster than it goes out. You're trying to organize a flood while the faucet is still running at full blast. Seniors understand that every item in your home is competing for your attention, your space, and your energy. When you bring something new home, you're not just adding one thing. You're adding visual noise, maintenance responsibility, and decision fatigue. Mrs. Chen showed me this with my book collection. I had 200 books, had read maybe 80 of them, and kept buying more. Every time you buy a new book, she said, 2 old ones leave. Otherwise, you're not a reader, you're a book warehouse. Harsh. Yes. True. Absolutely. Here's how to apply this ruthlessly. Before you buy anything new, identify 2 items to donate. And I mean before you buy it. Stand in the store and text yourself the 2 items you'll remove. When gifts arrive, immediately find 2 items to remove. No exceptions. Keep a departure box by your front door. Every time something new comes in, something goes in that box. When the box is full, it goes to donation immediately. I started doing this with my kitchen gadgets. Every time I bought a new cooking tool, 2 old ones left. Within 6 months, I went from drawers so full I couldn't close them to actually being able to find what I needed when I needed it. But here's the deeper truth. This rule forces you to be intentional about what you bring into your life. You can't just mindlessly accumulate anymore. Every purchase becomes a conscious choice about what deserves space in your home. The emotional benefit? You'll start feeling like you control your possessions instead of them controlling you. You'll stop being a victim of your own stuff and start being the curator of your own life. And here's what shocked me most. I started buying better things. When I knew each purchase meant losing 2 items, I became much more selective. I bought things I truly loved instead of things that were just okay. Your home will thank you. Your wallet will thank you. Your sanity will thank you. Secret 3. The 80-20 Declutter. Now we're getting to the secret that will save you the most time and give you the biggest transformation. This is the one that made me realize I'd been decluttering completely wrong for years. Secret number 3. 80% of your mess comes from 20% of your belongings. Eliminate that 20% first. Most people start decluttering with the easy stuff. The broken pen. The expired coupon. The single sock with no match. They spend hours on tiny victories while the real chaos creators sit there laughing at them. Seniors don't waste time on small stuff. They identify the biggest chaos creators and eliminate them first. Maximum impact, minimum effort. Mrs. Chen walked through my house and pointed out my chaos creators in under 2 minutes. That chair where clothes pile up. That kitchen counter that collects everything. That coffee table covered in papers. Those are your enemies. Everything else is just decoration. She was right. I had been organizing around these problem areas for years instead of just eliminating them. Here's how to identify your 20%. Look for the items that multiply. Papers that breed more papers. Clothes that create more clothes piles. Kitchen gadgets that somehow attract more kitchen gadgets. These are your chaos creators. The most common chaos creators I see in every home. That chair. You know the one. It's not for sitting anymore. It's for clothes. The kitchen counter that somehow collects mail, keys, random stuff, and yesterday's good intentions. The coffee table that's now a filing cabinet. The bedroom dresser that's become a museum of things you'll deal with later. Here's what you do. Pick your biggest chaos creator. Don't organize it. Don't buy storage solutions for it. Eliminate it completely. If it's that chair, remove all clothes and commit to never putting clothes there again. If it's the counter, clear it completely and make it a no-landing zone. I remember clearing my kitchen counter completely. It felt scary at first, like I was removing something essential. But within 1 week, my entire kitchen felt different. I cooked more. I enjoyed being in the space. I stopped feeling overwhelmed every time I walked in. The brutal truth about this secret: you'll resist it. You'll think, but I need that surface, or, but where will I put things? That resistance is exactly why these areas create chaos. You're treating them like storage when they're meant to be functional spaces. When you eliminate your chaos creators, something magical happens. The rest of your home starts organizing itself. You stop having random piles because you've eliminated the pile magnets. You start putting things away properly because you've removed the temptation to just dump them somewhere. This is the secret that will transform your home fastest. Don't organize your chaos creators. Eliminate them. Be ruthless. Your future self will thank you every single day. Secret 4. The touch once rule. This next secret is the one that will stop you from playing the exhausting game of shuffle and delay that's been stealing your energy for years. Secret number 4. Every item you pick up must be dealt with immediately. No putting it down somewhere else. Mrs. Chen caught me doing this within the first hour of our decluttering session. I picked up a book, looked at it for 3 seconds, then set it down on a different surface. "Stop," she said. "You just wasted energy and solved nothing. Pick it up again and decide, keep and put it where it belongs, donate, or trash. Those are your only options." This rule is ruthless because it forces you to confront the truth. Most of your clutter exists because you keep postponing decisions. You're not disorganized. You're just tired of making choices about stuff that shouldn't require choices. Here's what happens when you touch something multiple times. First touch, you think about it. Second touch, you think about it again. Third touch, you're frustrated. Fourth touch, you're avoiding it. By the 10th touch, you hate that object and it's taking up mental space rent-free. Seniors understand this. They pick something up only when they're ready to make a decision. 3 choices only. Keep it and put it in its proper place immediately. Donate it. Trash it. No temporary locations. No "I'll decide later" pile. No "let me think about it" spot. I learned this the hard way with my mail. I would bring it in, set it on the counter, touch it again when I cooked dinner, move it to the coffee table, touch it again when I watched TV, move it to the bedroom dresser, touch it again when I got ready for bed. 1 piece of mail, 7 touches, 0 progress. Now, I sort mail standing at the trash can by my front door. Bills go to the bill basket. Important documents go to the file folder. Everything else goes straight to recycling. 1 touch, decision made, energy preserved. Here's how to apply this ruthlessly. When you pick up an item during decluttering, hold it until you've made a decision. Don't set it down to come back to. Don't create a maybe pile. Don't move it to a better temporary location. Deal with it completely before touching the next item. The first time you do this, it will feel slow. You'll want to create sorting piles. You'll want to batch similar items. Don't. The magic happens when you force yourself to make individual decisions about individual items. I remember decluttering my bathroom using this rule. Instead of creating piles of expired makeup, products I never use, and things I'm not sure about, I made immediate decisions. This lipstick I haven't worn in a year? Trash. This lotion that smells weird? Trash. This face mask I bought and never tried? Donate. The emotional benefit? You'll feel like you're finally making progress instead of just rearranging chaos. Your brain will stop carrying the mental load of things I need to decide about later. You'll feel lighter, clearer, more in control. And here's the bonus. This rule trains you to be decisive about future items too. When you get used to making immediate decisions about your belongings, you'll start making quicker decisions about everything else in your life. Secret 5. The container rule. Now we're getting to the secret that will end your storage shopping addiction forever. This is the one that will make you see the organizing section at stores completely differently. Secret number 5. If it doesn't fit in its designated container, you have too much. Not, you need a bigger container. Not, you need better organizing systems. You have too much. This rule is brutal because it forces you to accept natural limits. Most people think the solution to too much stuff is better storage. Seniors know the solution to too much stuff is less stuff. Mrs. Chen taught me this with my craft supplies. I had 3 large bins overflowing with yarn, fabric, and tools for hobbies I'd tried once and abandoned. Give yourself one small basket, she said. Whatever fits, you keep. Whatever doesn't, you donate. But what if I want to get back into scrapbooking? I asked. Then you'll buy new supplies and you'll actually use them, she replied. Right now, you're just running a storage facility for your past intentions. Harsh. Yes. Life-changing. Absolutely. Here's how to apply this ruthlessly. Assign 1 container per category. All books get 1 bookshelf. All kitchen gadgets get 1 drawer. All craft supplies get 1 basket. All batteries and cords get 1 small box. When the container is full, something must go before anything new enters. Choose containers based on the space you have available, not the items you currently own. This is the key. Your space gets to vote on how much you keep, not your attachment to stuff. I started with my kitchen utensils. I gave myself 1 drawer. Everything that fit in that drawer with room to move around could stay. Everything else got donated. You know what I discovered? I had 5 different types of can openers, 3 potato peelers, and 7 wooden spoons. I kept 1 of each and haven't missed the extras once. The breakthrough moment came when I realized I was spending more time managing my stuff than using it. I had so many art supplies that I couldn't find what I needed when I actually wanted to create something. The abundance was creating scarcity. Here's what's brilliant about this rule. It prevents the endless expansion of categories. You can't justify keeping more books because I love reading. You can't justify keeping more clothes because I like having options. Your designated container is the limit, and that limit keeps you free. The emotional benefit? You'll feel organized and in control, knowing exactly where everything belongs and that it all fits. You'll stop feeling overwhelmed by choice and start feeling grateful for what you have. You'll use your favorite things more because they're not buried under mediocre duplicates. And here's the secret within the secret. You'll start choosing quality over quantity. When you can only keep what fits in 1 container, you become much more selective about what deserves that space. Secret 6. The duplicate elimination. This secret is going to challenge everything you think you know about being prepared and having options. Secret number 6. Keep only 1 of everything unless you can prove you need multiples. Not unless you think you might need multiples. Not unless you want multiples. Unless you can prove with evidence from your actual life that you need more than 1. This rule is ruthless because it forces you to confront the truth about your habits versus your fantasies. You keep 7 mugs because you imagine hosting dinner parties, but you drink coffee alone 99% of the time. You keep 12 towels because you imagine doing laundry less frequently, but you do laundry weekly anyway. Mrs. Chen demonstrated this with my coffee mug collection. I had 16 mugs. How many people live here? She asked. Just me, I admitted. How many cups of coffee do you drink at once? 1. How often do you have guests for coffee? Maybe twice a year. So you need 1 mug and maybe 1 guest mug. The other 14 are just taking up space and creating decisions you don't need to make. She was right. Every morning, I stood in front of 16 mugs trying to decide which one to use. Analysis paralysis over coffee cups. Ridiculous. Here's how to apply this ruthlessly. Go through each category and ask yourself, what's my actual pattern? Not your ideal pattern, not your someday pattern, your actual pattern. How many coffee cups do you actually use? How many pairs of scissors do you actually need? How many blankets do you actually use? Keep your absolute favorite and donate the rest immediately. When you question this, ask yourself, When was the last time I used the second best version of this item? If the answer is, I can't remember, then you don't need it. I did this with my kitchen knives. I had a whole knife block, but I used the same chef's knife for everything. The others just made the counter look cluttered and the drawer hard to navigate. I kept my favorite knife and one paring knife. That's it. I've been cooking happily with 2 knives for 3 years now. The breakthrough came with my sheets. I had 6 sets of sheets for 1 bed. How often do you change your sheets? Mrs. Chen asked. Weekly. How long does it take to wash and dry one set? A few hours. So you need 2 sets maximum. 1 on the bed, 1 in the wash. But here's what I discovered. Having fewer options didn't limit me, it freed me. I stopped wasting mental energy on decisions that didn't matter. I stopped feeling guilty about the nice sheets I never used. I stopped playing Tetris with my linen closet. The emotional benefit? You'll appreciate and use your favorite things more when they're not competing with mediocre duplicates. You'll feel peaceful knowing that everything in your home is there because it's genuinely useful or beautiful, not because you're afraid of not having enough. And here's the psychological shift. You'll start trusting yourself to make good decisions about what you actually need. You'll stop hoarding just-in-case items and start living with confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes. Secret 7. The Visibility Rule. We're now entering the territory of the most powerful secrets. This one will challenge how you think about storage completely. Secret number 7. If you can't see it, you don't need it. This rule is absolutely ruthless because it destroys the illusion of organized storage. You know what I'm talking about. Those Pinterest-perfect closets with matching bins and labels, where everything is hidden away in neat containers. Looks beautiful, but here's the brutal truth. Out of sight truly becomes out of mind. Mrs. Chen proved this to me with my bathroom cabinet. I had organized everything into beautiful matching containers with perfect labels. Open those containers, she said. Inside, I found expired medications from 2018, sample sizes of products I'd forgotten I owned, and 3 half-used tubes of the same moisturizer. You spent energy organizing garbage, she said. If you can't see it, you forgot it existed. If you forgot it existed, you don't need it. This hit me hard because I realized I'd been playing house with my clutter instead of eliminating it. I was organizing things I should have thrown away years ago. Here's how to apply this ruthlessly. Clear all your storage areas completely. Empty every drawer, every cabinet, every closet. Only put back items you can see without moving other things around. Use clear containers if you must use containers, but better yet, use open shelving or hooks where everything is visible. The most brutal part of this rule? That box you haven't opened in 2 years? Donate it without looking inside. If you haven't needed what's in there by now, you never will. I know this feels scary, but I've done this myself and helped hundreds of people do it. Not one person has ever regretted donating that mysterious box. I applied this to my bedroom closet. Instead of cramming everything into deep shelves where I couldn't see what I owned, I only kept what could hang visibly or fit in one shallow drawer. Suddenly, I was wearing clothes I'd forgotten I owned because I could actually see them. The emotional benefit? You'll feel peaceful knowing that everything in your home is something you actually use and enjoy. You'll stop buying duplicates of things you already own but can't find. You'll stop feeling guilty about the good stuff hiding in storage that you never use. Secret 8. The 48-hour purge. This is the secret that will shock you with how fast transformation can happen when you stop overthinking and start acting. Secret number 8. Set a 48-hour deadline and stick to it ruthlessly. Not 48 days. Not 48 weeks. 48 hours. And here's why this timeline is so crucial. It prevents the endless deliberation that keeps you stuck in clutter forever. Most people turn decluttering into a months-long project. They create elaborate systems, buy organizing supplies, make detailed plans. Meanwhile, they're still living in chaos, still feeling overwhelmed, still avoiding their own home. Mrs. Chen taught me that the stress of decluttering isn't the physical work, it's the emotional labor of endless decision-making. Give yourself a deadline, she said. Your stuff doesn't deserve unlimited time to argue its case for staying. Here's your brutal 48-hour breakdown. Hours 1 to 8. Clothes and personal items. Be ruthless. If you haven't worn it in a year, it goes. If it doesn't fit your current body, it goes. If it doesn't make you feel good when you wear it, it goes. Hours 9 to 16. Kitchen and dining. Keep only what you actually use. Not what you might use someday. Not what you used to use. What you actually use now. Hours 17 to 24. Living areas. Books you'll never read again. Decorations that don't spark joy. Electronics you've replaced but kept just in case. All of it goes. Hours 25 to 32. Papers and documents. This is where people get stuck for months. Don't. Keep current year's taxes, current insurance, current warranties. Everything else gets digitized or trashed. Hours 33 to 40. Storage areas, basement, garage. This is where the magic happens. You'll find things you completely forgot you owned. If you forgot about it, donate it. Hours 41 to 48. Final walkthrough and immediate removal. No storing donation bags in your garage for someday. Load them in your car and drive them to donation immediately. The brutal reality? You'll discover that 80% of your stress about decluttering was just procrastination. Once you start with a real deadline, decisions become easier. You stop overthinking and start trusting your instincts. I did my first 48-hour purge 3 years ago. I filled my car 3 times with donations. I threw away 2 full garbage bags of broken or expired items. And you know what? I have never once missed a single thing I donated or threw away. Not once. The emotional benefit? You'll feel accomplished and proud, knowing you conquered something you've been avoiding for months or years. You'll feel lighter immediately. You'll want to spend time in your home instead of avoiding it. Secret 9. The legacy question. This is the secret I promised would shock you. It's the one that made me cry, not from sadness, but from the profound clarity it brought to my life. Secret number 9. Ask yourself, if I died tomorrow, would I want my family to deal with this? This is the most ruthless question you can ask about your possessions, and it's the one that will transform not just your home, but your entire relationship with stuff. Mrs. Chen taught me this after her husband passed away. I spent 3 months going through his belongings, she told me. 3 months of my grief was spent deciding what to do with tools he never used, books he never read, clothes he never wore. I promised myself I would never do that to my children. This question is ruthless because it forces you to confront mortality and shifts your focus from, what if I need it, to, what burden am I creating? It makes you think about your possessions not as extensions of yourself, but as tasks you're assigning to people you love. Here's how to apply this. Hold each questionable item and ask the legacy question. Really picture your family members having to deal with it. Consider the time and emotional energy they would spend sorting through your things during what should be a time of healing and remembrance. When I asked this question about my collection of craft supplies for hobbies I'd abandoned, the answer was clear. I didn't want my sister spending her grief sorting through bins of unused yarn and unfinished projects. I wanted her to find things that showed who I really was, not who I thought I might become someday. The emotional truth that seniors understand. The greatest gift you can give your family isn't your stuff. It's peace of mind and a home that feels like a sanctuary, not a burden. But here's what shocked me most about this question. It's not really about death at all. It's about life. When you start thinking about the legacy of your possessions, you start thinking about the legacy of your choices. You start keeping things that truly represent who you are, not who you're afraid you might not be. I applied this to my book collection. Instead of keeping books to look smart or well-read, I kept books that actually changed my thinking. Instead of keeping clothes that represented some fantasy version of myself, I kept clothes that made me feel authentically me. The transformation promise? When you start thinking like this, decluttering becomes an act of love, not loss. You're not losing things. You're choosing freedom over fear, peace over possessions, and clarity over chaos. If you've stayed with me through all 9 secrets, you now understand why seniors seem so peaceful in their homes. It's not because they have less energy to make messes. It's because they've learned that true wealth isn't what you own, it's what you're free from owning. These secrets aren't really about decluttering at all. They're about choosing the life you want to live instead of being trapped by the life your stuff has created for you. They're about understanding that every object in your home is either supporting your dreams or holding you back from them. Here's your challenge. Pick just one of these secrets and apply it for the next 48 hours. Don't try to do all 9. That's a recipe for overwhelm. Pick the one that scared you the most when you heard it, because that's the one you need most. Maybe it's the 5-second rule that will stop you from negotiating with every object. Maybe it's the container rule that will end your storage shopping addiction. Maybe it's the legacy question that will help you see your possessions as choices about who you want to be. Whatever secret you choose, I want you to come back and tell me about it. Leave a comment with which secret you picked and how it felt to apply it. Your success will inspire someone else to start their own transformation. And if you're ready to join a community of people who choose simplicity over complexity, peace over possession, and freedom over fear, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that notification bell because next week, I'm sharing the 5 things seniors never keep in their homes, and the psychological reasons why these items block happiness. Remember, you don't need permission to live peacefully. You don't need to wait for motivation. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to start. Pick one secret. Set a timer for 48 hours. And begin. Your future self, the one living in a peaceful, organized home, is waiting for you to make that choice. Today is the day you stop negotiating with your stuff and start choosing your freedom. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm proud of you for being here, and I'm excited to hear about your transformation.